All right. Is everything working? Oh my God. I didn't even make it. I didn't even make it to the stream and my voice is gone. Hang on. Let me have some soda. And I got to mute my monitor. Okay. I think everything is working. Is everything working? I think everything is working. All right. We're going to go from LAX to McCarran. We'll see how this goes. And we're in a Dare. I don't even know the model. It's a TBM930. It's on the tail. TBM930. All right. It's very fast. I flew it a little bit earlier today. Mic is working. Cool. Hey, let me know how the audio is as well. When I was listening to what I did yesterday, you could barely hear the plane. And this turbine sounds really, really good. So let me know how the mix is. And I'll bring up the in-game audio if I have to so you can hear it a little bit better. All right. I don't know this plane at all, other than what I flew this morning. Oh, frame rate. So we want this up. We want these two on. Find it. There it is. All right. So there is that. Let's get some clearance going here.
Los Angeles clearance delivery Dare Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra Alpha IFR to Las Vegas ready to copy.
Dare Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra Alpha is cleared to Las Vegas Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 25 left climb and maintain 12,000 feet. Departure frequency is 125.2 squawk 0476.
All right.
Dare Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra Alpha cleared to Las Vegas Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 25 left climb and maintain 12,000 feet. Departure on 125.2 squawk 0476.
Dare Golf Sierra Alpha readback is correct. Contact ground on 121.65 when ready to taxi.
Beautiful. All right. I had to look it up. It's not in the game for some reason, which is a little bit frustrating, but the ILS for the runway we will be landing on at McCarran is 111.75. So we need to put that in manually. And I believe we'll do that here. Yep, we want this one. We want, where is it up here? Where is it? No, it's down here. We need, let me slide over a little bit, see if I can get it easier this way. There's no manual for this game. It's fantastic. It's not that one. Map settings, weather, speed bugs, waypoint. So it is going to be nav. And is it this? No. Is it this one? Where is it? I know I found it earlier. It's not that. It's not that. It's not that. Or is it this one? So, FD. No. I need to find that before we take off, because that will be how we waypoint info. No, that's going to be how we get the localizer set for where we're going. We can leave this up here now. We can leave our flight plan over there, but where is it? I know I found it one time. It's not that. There it is. All right, we want 111.75. So we're going to say, is it that one? Is it this one? There we go. 111.75.
Los Angeles clearance delivery American 1831 IFR to DFW ready to
And we're going to swap those.
American 1831 is cleared to DFW airport as filed. Takeoff runway 25 right climb and maintain 10,000 feet. Departure frequency is 124.9 squawk 6502.
Nope. And we lost it. Where'd it go? Nope, not there. Audio and radios. We want nav.
American 1831 cleared to DFW airport as filed. Takeoff runway 25 right climb and maintain
Audio and radios.
10,000 feet.
Marker.
Departure on 132.85 squawk 6502. American
Nope. I cannot get back to the menu that I had.
Contact ground on 121.4.
Is it marker? There it is. And we didn't lock it in. So we want, is it down here now? We want, there we go. 11175, enter. And then we want to swap those. Swap them there. We're going to make this work because we're on nav 2 right now. We want nav 1. Transfer. Let's try that. There we go. And then this one will also be 111.75, just so nothing gets screwed up. Okay, well that was easy. Oh, but that's nav 2. We want nav 1. Nav 2. Hold swap. Or is it? There we go. All right, so then if we go here, transfer those, and then go back in here. Well, that was easy. No manual for this game. I think if you know how to do this stuff in real life, you can do it in the game, but there's no manual in the game if you don't know how to do it. So it has been, as always, an adventure. So we want this right over there, and we want to go back up here. We want auto select on fuel. I'm doing this without a checklist, by the way. We want that there. That is on auto. I think everything is right for the moment. Okay, let's start up, see what happens. And I need to get down here to our warning panel. Let's get this out of the way. All right. So let's address these one at a time. Stall, no heat. Pitot, no heat. That is right there. All right. Bleed is off. Bleed to auto. Okay. Startup worked out. I'm very happy about that. So if we go up here now, everything is good up here. Set that there. Don't need lights inside. We need lights outside. Taxi lights on, and a little bit of AC. All right. And we also need, I think that's it. So if we go right down here, that's already dialed. Flight management system is locked in. That's what we'll be navigating from until we get to the localizer in Las Vegas. I'm saying this like I know what I'm talking about. I know, like, I don't know, probably a third of what I'm doing, but I do have fun. All right, now our next problem is we have to find the runway, and that is going to be difficult. Request taxi IFR.
Los Angeles ground Dare Alpha Sierra X-ray Golf Sierra Alpha with Golf ready to taxi IFR.
Dare Alpha Sierra X-ray Golf Sierra Alpha taxi to and hold short of runway 25 left via taxiway Charlie Tree Bravo Foxtrot cross runway 25 right Foxtrot. Contact tower on 120.905 when ready.
Okay, that's not too bad. So we're going to hold short of 25 left. We only have to cross 25 right. So if we look at the map, this is This is 25 right. Yep, this is 25 right. This is 25 left. How does that work? It says they want us to cross 25 right.
Dare Golf Sierra Alpha, did you hear my last transmission?
Yes, I heard you.
Taxi to and hold short
All right.
runway 25 left using taxiway Charlie Tree Bravo Foxtrot cross runway 25 right Foxtrot Dare Golf Sierra Alpha.
So it's telling us to cross 25 right. 25 right is up here. 25 left is where we're taking off. I would think that we could just like dip down here and hold short right there. So that's what we're going to do. It'll save us the hassle of, oh no, okay, this is us up here. I thought we were down here for some reason. Okay, that makes perfect sense now. So we got to find Charlie and then Bravo and Fox. So we will, let's get turned around and get out this way. I'm guessing this is Charlie down here somewhere. Okay, so let's get turned around and get on out of here. Oh, we got to release some brakes first. Parking brake is off. All right, here we go. So, ground services, pushback.
Los Angeles Ground Dare Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra Alpha requesting pushback.
Dare Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra Alpha pushback request accepted.
How about back and to the right?
Los Angeles Ground Dare Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra Alpha requesting pushback tuck to steer the aircraft to the right.
Dare Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra Alpha, your request has been transmitted to the office.
All right, here we go. Charlie 3, Bravo, Fox. Okay. I'm still really liking this sim, but there are a lot of things that need a lot of work. I'm not as impressed with it as I was yesterday. I'm still impressed, but I'm not as impressed. This little detail right there. What was that guy doing?
Los Angeles Ground Dare Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra Alpha requesting the end of pushback.
Dare Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra Alpha request to end pushback received.
So now we want to go. I'm thinking like right over there. So forward, left. We get right down here and cross. I believe this is Charlie. All right. Get rid of that. Here we go. And let me do one more thing. Hop back in here. And taxi lights are on. Okay.
Los Angeles Ground Aero Mexico 19er taxi to the gate. Aero Mexico 19er taxi to gate 208 using taxiway Hotel 4 Hotel 5 cross runway 25 right Bravo 7 Bravo Sierra Charlie Alpha Alpha Echo 17 Echo 16. Taxiing to gate 208 via taxiway Hotel 4 Hotel 5 cross runway 25 right Bravo 7 Bravo Sierra Charlie Alpha Alpha Echo 17 Echo 16 Aero Mexico 19er.
So I think I can't see the sign until we get up closer. But I think, I mean, this will do. As long as we don't cross a runway, we won't get dinged, which is not the case in real life. But I think we'll be okay. Yep. So we'll head down to the end here. And get turned around and get out of here. Yep, we got to cross 25 right. Cool. All right. And frame rate is holding up. It's okay. LAX is it's huge for one thing, and it's one of the handmade airports. So it really does beat up the frame rate. I saw that a lot on Reddit and on the forums and everything today, is people talking about, in my review, I said the game just needed another few months. It has almost a beta feel to it. There are so many things that you wonder how they got through testing. And anytime engine is better, okay, cool. When I listened to it yesterday, it was so quiet. So let me know if you want it up or down. I can slide it either way. Yeah, I saw on Discord somebody said, how did that make it through testing? And apparently a lot of people are saying that, even alpha testers and beta testers are saying, like, wow, what did you do with all the notes that we sent you? You know, it's, we told you all the things that needed to be fixed. Why didn't you fix them? So who knows? Who knows? It's a cool game. I don't have, I wouldn't say like complaints about it. You know, it is what it is. And I feel like every developer is doing it this way now. And so, you know, we as consumers, if we want to buy games on day one, we just need to, rather than being surprised by this, we just need to expect that that's what's going to happen. I've got Train Sim World 2 coming in tomorrow afternoon at 1 p.m. that will download. And I don't know, a year ago I would have said, I don't know what to expect. But now I do know what to expect. It's going to be disappointing. If it's not disappointing, I'll be surprised. But if it is disappointing, I won't be disappointed. So let's be good, responsible pilots here and take a look for traffic. So nothing there. And nothing down there. All right. This plane is so much faster than that little twin engine piston that we were on yesterday. It's ridiculously fast. All right, and then we're going to hold short at 25L and get some clearance and get the hell out of here. That was not bad. I thought finding our way through these taxiways would be a lot worse. All right. There we are. So now we need, is everything in order here? I think it is. Flaps are set. Lead oxygen. Yep, I think we're good. All right.
Los Angeles Tower Dare Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra Alpha ready to go runway 25 left IFR to Las Vegas.
American 255, turn next taxiway. Dare Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra Alpha cleared for takeoff runway 25 left.
Cleared for takeoff runway 25 left Dare Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra Alpha.
There we go. Also, I got the ATC thing sorted out, and the problem is there's a dialog. You can select either Azure or offline text-to-speech, and if you're using Azure, it doesn't work, which I don't fully understand. There are so many things about this game that were a really big deal in the marketing, but then in reality they don't work. So I'm curious. Well, like people are saying, how did that make it through testing, right? So the whole thing about this game was it was supposed to be, everything was supposed to come in off the cloud via Azure, and it just really doesn't work the way it's supposed to. Here we go.
American 255, contact ground on 121.75. 121.75.
All right, concentrating. And I did get the flight management and autopilot and everything working for this aircraft. So we'll see if we can have a nice autopilot trip to Las Vegas.
Dagger Golf Sierra Alpha contact SoCal departure on 125.2.
All right, that's us.
125.2 for Dagger Golf Sierra Alpha. SoCal departure Dagger Alpha Sierra X-ray Golf Sierra Alpha is climbing through 1,000 feet for 12,000 feet.
Dagger Alpha Sierra X-ray Golf Sierra Alpha SoCal departure continue as planned. Altimeter 29.902.
All right. I think one of the things, and again, because there's no documentation and there's really no way to know this, one of the things about the autopilot, with everything being glass cockpit now, and terrain avoidance and FLIR and everything else, I feel like if you set the autopilot at the wrong time, it's trying to calculate terrain avoidance and turns and navigation and everything else. So particularly coming out of Santa Barbara, because there are those big mountains there, I think if you activate the autopilot too soon, it's trying to respond to those mountains. I mean, it's also buggy, according to even the developers. Like they said in one of the things that we know are broken, one of the things they know is broken is the autopilot. But I think it's also the way that you use it. But there's really, unless you can get a hold of the manual from the actual manufacturer, I don't think there's any way to really know like how to use it, unless you're a pilot, which I'm not. So I just kind of hack my way through it. I mean, it's fun sorting it out, but with this game being so big, and as long as it takes to load, it's not like a race sim where you just hit the rewind button and try that turn again. If you spend 15 or 20 minutes getting the aircraft set up and take off from an airport and stuff it into a mountain, it's going to take another 30 minutes to set it up again. All right, so we're getting our turn on here. As soon as we get to 12,000 feet, they're probably going to send us to like 25,000, and then from there to 30,000. So it just looks like a little general aviation aircraft, but it's apparently very fast and can fly very high. All right, so right there. And I think we can probably put it, at least the navigation part, we can put that on autopilot at the moment. So we want navigation. So that's going to steer us to this course right here. And once we get on it, and in fact you can see like right here, as this line sort of closes out, that's us getting closer and closer to our course. As we're right over top of it, we'll be right over this line. We'll make another turn, and that'll navigate us all the way into McCarran. And this warning we're getting right here is for our yaw dampers. So as soon as we make that turn, then we can, where's our yaw damper? Yaw damper's on. So now the only other thing we need to do is set our altitude when we get to 12,000 feet. But as soon as we do that, like as we cross through 12,000, ATC will send us to 24,000. So we'll need to reset that. But for the most part, yeah, we made it. Or at least we made it through the takeoff. And there's a lot of other, this center MFD, yeah, we got a minute. This center MFD has, because it's a pressurized cabin, so right now, even though we're coming up on 8,000 feet, the cabin is pressurized to 2,000 feet. This will go up to a maximum of 10,000 feet. It'll essentially depressurize inside to worth the equivalent of 10,000 feet, which is what aircraft do, like commercial aircraft, jets. But there's no way to to efficiently keep the inside of an aircraft at sea level. It's just not worth the hassle. People can breathe fine at 10,000 feet. So that's what's going on there. What else? Yeah, it is a turbine, so we'll need to watch the torque. As the air gets thinner, the prop is going to spin faster and faster, so we'll need to continually monitor this. And we'll also need to really monitor as we start our descent into McCarran, because you want to be, it's generally under 200 knots.
Air Golf Sierra Alpha contact Los Angeles Center on 134.575.
Generally under 200 knots if you're under 10,000 feet. So we'll need to really monitor our speed, because this plane is, it wants to get away from you. There you go. All right, and we can hop outside too. I don't know what this is out on the left wing. I assume some kind of weather radar, but it's very cool. Yeah, Fred, sorry, I haven't been able to look over at the chat. The sounds are really good. There's a YouTube video of the rig that they use to record them, and it's just like a cluster of maybe 12 or 15 microphones that they put in the cockpit, and it records everything, like little creaks and bumps. You can hear the airframe flexing and hydraulic fluid moving around. That's really good. And I also was able to get everything moved over from the C drive. I found this out yesterday. So I've got an M2 SSD for my C drive with the operating system on it, and then all my games and apps and data and everything are on other, right? D and E and F and Z and whatever. All right, so we got to go to 250. We'll acknowledge that.
Climb and maintain flight level 250 Dare Golf Sierra Alpha.
And we do this a little different in this iteration, different than FSX, is we need to dial in our new target altitude. So we'll dial that into 25,000 and then activate vertical speed mode and then set what we want our feet per minute to be. We'll say 2,000 feet per minute. And that'll take us up to 25,000 and level out. So I may have said this yesterday, but I think I recorded the live stream before I knew. So when you download the game from Steam, it's like 500 meg, and that's really just a downloader for the Microsoft Store. But the Microsoft Store doesn't default to your Steam settings, it defaults to your Microsoft settings, your Windows settings. So Steam, I told it to put it on drive D, but Windows installs new apps on drive C. So I looked today or last night and saw that there was an additional like 175 gig on my M2 drive. So I was able to get everything swapped over. There's a config file. I just moved the folder with the bulk of the files. I think it's about 90 gig. I just moved that over to my D drive and then went into that config file and told the game, waiting for the ATC to stop talking, told the config file, when the game starts, look for this folder here now instead of on the C drive. But just a lot of little details like that. I'm reluctant to blame everything on boomers, but I see a lot of boomers doing things in gaming. That's that Blockbuster syndrome. How did Blockbuster not see streaming coming? How did Blockbuster get put out of business? They just
Going to 132.85 Horizon Air 2849er.
Just didn't get it. Just didn't know how things work. All right, so looking now, we're getting a torque warning. If I can slide over here. I haven't done anything. I haven't changed the controls, but as we're climbing, as the air is getting thinner, the propeller can spin faster and faster. So we need to continue to back the throttle down. And we've also got, so our indicated airspeed is 176 knots, but our actual airspeed is over 230 knots. And this maxes out at, I want to say, about 300 knots. So we'll monitor that when we level out, so we don't end up going way too fast. All right, and we are, it's not very far from LA to Vegas. Yep. I'd say probably in this plane, probably half an hour, 40 minutes. And you can put in, you didn't used to be able to do this in FSX. I think there's a mod so you can do it in X-Plane, but you had to generate your flight plans and determine all these waypoints through a third-party app and then bring that information in manually. This Flight Sim 20 does it all, not, I wouldn't say automatically, but you put in your airports, you put in how and where you want to fly as far as low altitude, high altitude, VFR, IFR, whatever. And then it'll even give you choices of like what departures you want to use and what approaches. So that simplifies things quite a bit, but it's a mystery to me what they want this game to be. Like on the one hand, it seems like they really just want it to be a fun sandbox kind of gamepad sim, or no, not a sim, just like a fun game. And then on the other hand, it has all this incredible technology and the avionics and the electronics and navigation and all this stuff that I don't know how you would even use this on a console. So it's I don't know. I don't know who they made this game for. And it could be that there was some type of internal disagreement, and that's why the game is a bit of a mess right now, is they never really decided what they wanted it to be. Is it a console game? Is it a simulation? Is it... Who knows? All right, that's us. So we got this going on.
132.85 for Dare Golf Sierra Alpha.
And we got another torque warning. All right.
Los Angeles Center Dare Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra Alpha is at flight level 215, climbing flight level 250.
Dare Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra Alpha Los Angeles Center, continue to DOTS as planned.
All right, DOTS is our next waypoint. Right here. That's where we're headed. And while we're doing this, so this is always a little bit risky. So we've got 111.75 is the localizer for runway 26 left in Las Vegas. We have it in the nav radio now, but we need to get it onto this screen here, and I don't know exactly how to do that, but we've got a minute to sort of figure it out. So as we get near 25,000 feet, it's probably going to send us to 30,000, so let's get that sorted out first, and then we'll mess with getting this localizer frequency set up here on this MFD. And again, like, I'm throwing all these terms and acronyms out like I know what I'm talking about. I sort of know what I'm talking about. Sort of. All right. All right, they may leave us at 25,000. Yep, sounds like they are. I'm gonna back this throttle off just a little bit. We can try to do this. So, if we go here, so bearing 1 now.
Dare Golf Sierra Alpha climb and maintain flight level 310.
All right. So we are going to 31,000. All right. The other thing is, if you're using the scroll wheel and you come off the trigger, if you come off the hitbox, it immediately zooms the whole cockpit. All right, and then we'll go to vertical speed mode, and we want to say about 2,000 feet per minute. Okay, so now let's go back here. So we do have... So the active nav is the flight management system, and that's what's keeping us on this waypoint course. How we're making all these turns, but we can't. I'm not going to do it now because it would mess with the autopilot, but we can use this button to select other sources for this. What I want to be able to do as we get close to McCarran is swap this over from the flight management system, the GPS course, the waypoint course, swap it over to this Nav1 radio, and that will guide us in on the localizer. In theory. I mean, we can fly it manually if we have to, but I would prefer to do it this way. So we've at least got some of it up there. PFD mode full. Yeah, I don't know what a lot of this stuff does. Other PFD settings, what's this? cabin pressure difference. Moment.
American 1831, you are 500 feet above your assigned altitude. Descend and maintain 10,000 feet altimeter 29.902.
Why are we getting this warning? So we've got, if we go down here,
Descend and maintain 10,000 feet.
it's on
American
auto.
1831.
I don't know why we're getting that warning. And I don't think there's anything up here. We do have, O2 is on, right? I mean, what does this mean? So we've got a pressure differential, but I don't know where it's coming from. And I don't know if it's going to resolve itself. Interesting. What to do? I don't know. I guess we'll just monitor and see what happens. Looking down here. Nope. Our de-icing is on. We're good there. Good there. Like mass card. No. I don't know, man. We'll monitor. I'm not sure what that warning is. We're only a little bit out of the green. But we're continuing to climb. We were at 6, now we're at 7. I don't know what happens when that maxes out. I don't know if we're going to pass out. Well, that'd be terrible. All right. Yeah, I'm not sure how to resolve that. Could be something that sorts itself out, but unknown. All right. And what was the other thing I was?
Dagger Golf Sierra Alpha, contact Los Angeles Center on 126.35.
All right.
126.35 for Dagger Golf Sierra Alpha. Los Angeles Center Dagger Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra Alpha flight level 310.
Dagger Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra Alpha Los Angeles Center, continue to idle as planned.
All right. This did drop from 7 back down to 6, so if it continues dropping, it'll go into the green. But again, I don't know exactly what it is. And this I just noticed
Los Angeles Center, American 1831
is climbing again.
10,500 feet, descending 10,000 feet. American 1831 Los Angeles Center, continue as planned. Altimeter 29.9.
Is this going to stabilize? Maybe. Yep, looks like it's coming down. All right, we'll continue to monitor, and we'll continue to mess with this. We want attack on. These settings, OBS. Yeah, I think we'll just leave this for now. We do have this frequency dialed, and we do have it up here. So at some point, we'll just swap this over from flight management over to nav1, and that should take us all the way in, hopefully. All right, and that did. Yep, that went back into the green. So our pressure differential is now acceptable, and we're right at 98% torque to the prop, 330 knots, which I think is about as fast as this plane is supposed to go. There you have it. So now we can hop outside and take a look around. And I don't know what, we've got GPS tracking on here. I don't know exactly what that is. But yeah, for the most part, I have no complaints about this game. I am enjoying it, and I don't know. I mean, what are your thoughts? Is it a game? Is it a sim? It's got, I can't get to it now, but there's a way to turn on a HUD for virtually everything that shows up when you go third person. You can turn off the things that will cause the airplane to break. So even something like on takeoff, if you just pull back on the stick and flex the aircraft too hard, it will fail, and it just goes to a black screen and says you broke the plane. So when you have the realism turned up, it is not demanding. What's the word I'm looking for? Like, you have to play it realistically. It's very easy for the plane to go out of control. It's very easy to break the airplane. But when you turn all that off, you can barrel roll a 747. You can do whatever you want. And it seems like that's what a lot of live streamers are doing when they're live streaming this game. I saw that as like a topic of controversy on Reddit. The serious flight simmers were saying, that's just ridiculous to play a flight sim that way. I always feel like I should stop talking when the ATC kicks in. So the serious flight simmers were saying that's no way to play a flight sim, that's disrespectful. What are you doing? And the pushback, even from people in the flight sim community, was they're having fun, right? They're having fun, and maybe that video, maybe that live stream is a gateway drug for somebody, right? Maybe somebody who's never been interested in flight sim is going to see that, start playing it as a game, and then eventually find out they enjoy playing it as a sim. So it seems like that's something that Microsoft and Asobo are encouraging, because it's happening a lot. There are a lot of live streamers. That's us. Hang on.
128.15 for Dayer Golf Sierra Alpha. Los Angeles Center Dayer Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra Alpha Flight Level 310.
Dayer Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra Alpha Los Angeles Center continue to hover as planned.
So I would agree with that. I think if seeing something that is accessible and seeing something that is not intimidating, or something that just looks like fun, if that gets you into flight sim, or if it makes you want to buy a copy or whatever, then that's a good thing, right? We should want that to happen. But I can also understand the other side of it, that if you give people the impression that this is just a game, it's going to, as the developers continue working on it, it's going to make them want to focus more on the game stuff and less on the sim stuff. So I don't know. Unless it was, as some people are saying, it was only intended to ever be a console game, and all this other stuff is just kind of stuffed in there. The avionics and navigation and everything, it's just stuffed in there, and that's why it doesn't work very well. It's because nobody cares if it works. It's just supposed to be a fun sandbox game where you fly around. But I personally prefer the sim aspect of it, but I understand why some people would think that's not the most fun you could have. And man, the loading, I don't get the loading at all. Because right now we're just flying over desert, right? And I know there's some terrain mesh that needs to be loaded. It's not all just like low poly textures. But it seems like every probably 4 or 5 minutes the game has to drop from 50 FPS down to like 10. And that, I don't know. I'd like to see a little bit more anticipation. Like, the game knows what tile you're going to fly into next. Or it should, anyway. But I'd like to see a little bit more anticipation where it's more discreetly loading that data in the background, rather than it. I get the feeling that it's like jamming it all in there at the last second, and that's why you have those terrible FPS drops. Everybody does. It's not just me. But if they could smooth that out somehow, that would be very cool. One of the other topics that I saw today on Reddit was people asking how they're even going to bring this game to console, or if they can. But this bar up here is what a lot of serious flight simmers are looking at this bar and saying, oh yeah, this is a console game. That's all it's meant to be. It's not a flight sim. The flight sim stuff is just a technicality, but this bar gives it away. I don't know. I sort of agree with that.
United 146 you are 76 miles east. Descend and maintain 5,400 feet. Expect vectors visual runway 20 left approach.
It's convenient, but it is a little hokey.
United 146 descend and maintain 6,000 feet.
I got the ATC fixed, and now it won't shut up. I was so happy to find that thread describing how to fix it, but man, that's a lot of ATC.
United 146 descend and maintain 5,300 feet.
And I think the flight planner also calculates your fuel.
300 feet, United 146
Because with all the flights I've done so far, it's never started me with a full bag of gas. It's always, we've got a little over 100 gallons right now, which is about what this plane would use. LA to LV, but it doesn't ask anywhere, and it doesn't just top it off automatically. A little bit of buffet there over the desert.
United 146 descend and maintain 5,100.
If I had to give it a score, I'd say probably 7 out of 10,
Maintain 7,100 feet.
8 out of 10. It's good, but the more you play it, the more you see the sort of flaws.
United 146 descend and maintain 3,900 feet.
K9, hey, what's up? Yeah, I mean, that's true in a way. That's true of all flight sims. X-Plane is really demanding. FSX was really demanding. I mean, in its day, it was demanding. And even now, if you crank everything, FSX will beat up a modern computer. The thing that frustrates me is it doesn't seem to be optimized. And at that point, it's like, well, it's not that it's demanding, it's that it's badly designed. And they sort of have the same outcome, where they beat you up on ultra settings, but it's like one is something like a Witcher or Tomb Raider, really well optimized, just an extremely demanding game. And then you have something like what's a recent title that didn't even look very good and beat people's frame rate up? Train Sim World. Train Sim World is just horribly optimized. So it's not that it's demanding, it's just badly designed. And that's how do you sort that out? That's on the developer. And I don't know. I mean, this game, you can dial the graphics back. You can go to low-end settings. The game looks absolutely terrible, and it still plays slow. It still has FPS drops. And at that point, I don't know that that's really a fix. I mean, I personally think that if you're a developer and your game can't play well on a low-end system, then your game needs to be redesigned. You can't have a low-end setting in your options where the game is just absolute trash, but that makes it playable. Does that make sense? Like, there's a certain threshold where if you have to set your graphic settings below that, it's not even worth playing the game. And if that's something that a developer has to put in just so they can say, the game will play on this level of spec, that's not fair to anybody. Oh, hey, K9, that's cool. Yeah, I really like the truck videos. I've actually, the past month or so, I've really kind of backed off the volume, and I'm trying to be more selective about what I record and what I post, but I really like recording the truck vids. So I'm glad you like them. Oh, that's cool. You and your fiance, that's awesome. Thanks, I appreciate it. That is very cool. Yeah, I when I think about designing a game, developing a game, and you get on some of these developer chats and hear the things that they do. I don't even remember what studio it is, but they have 80 systems. They said they have 80 systems in their office representing every possible combination of processor, graphics card, SSD, and peripherals. And that's how they test their app. That's how they test their game, is on all those systems. And I wonder how many developers take it that far and how many just assume, well, you know, if you got twin 2080 Supers on SLI and an i9 9900K, it'll play fine. I think it's, I don't know, it's too easy to do that. It's too easy to put it back on the consumer. I think games should be designed for representative systems that most people currently have with an ultra setting so the people who do have super high-end systems can get the most out of theirs as well. You know, that's fair. I think that is fair, because if you were to design a game, like I've got a 1660 Ti, which is, honestly, it's an economy card. I like it. It works for me, but it is an economy card. If you were to design games for my 1660 Ti, somebody that has a 2080 Super would be furious. What did they buy that card for, right? And that would be fair. So it's just, I don't know. How do you please everybody? How do you please everybody at the same time?
Descend and maintain 11,000 feet, American 566.
All right, and I want to, let's take a look at the map too. Yep, that is progress. So we'll start our descent probably right about in here, so maybe another 10 or 15 minutes till we start heading down. And man, I hope that ILS landing works when we get to Vegas. I don't know if it will or not. I hope it does. And I'm trying to think of anything else we can do in here. We've got, so this is our flight plan over here, and when I get better at this, we'll be able to do some of this stuff on the fly, but for now I try to do it all while we're on the ground. So this is our flight plan, and we want to go, what's our next waypoint? Is that, yep. So the purple one, the highlighted one, this is the one that we're going to next. And I think, yep, it'll even show the descents. Now, there's a way to program all of this in, I think with the flight director. I don't know if you can see that. Let me slide over a little bit. I don't know if you can see that. But it's got, so right now, if we go back up here to this next waypoint we're headed to, it has us at 31,000 feet, but then it's got the approach all the way down. And I believe there's a way that we can have it do all this sort of automatically via the flight director, but it might not be functional yet. Like it might not even be working. And even if it is working, I don't know how to use all of it. So I'm a little bit cautious about some of this stuff. And there's also, I used the hat switch on my flight stick. There's like a sequence of views that you can cycle through very quickly. So that's looking over the glare shield, like for landing. This is kind of a good view of everything. And then this zooms in on your caution. So if you're zoomed out, if you're doing something over here, then just one click will put you back in that view. So yeah, I mean, there are plenty of good things about it. It's not, I wouldn't in any way say that it's like a bad game or a broken game or anything. It's just, I don't know. It's like anything. I saw, what was the first Aliens prequel? It wasn't, was it Covenant? What was that one called? Prometheus. I remember seeing Prometheus, and I walked out of the theater like, my whole life is going to be different. This was so amazing. And then as I thought about it the rest of the evening, I was like, wait a minute. No, that doesn't make any sense. Why would that happen? Well, why would they send them to a planet full of poison? I don't get it. And the whole thing just kind of fell apart. So there's a lot of things, I think, that the first time you see them or the first time you interact with them, they are amazing. And the more you sort of analyze it or pick it apart, the more you realize, it's all right. It's good. It's not great, but it's good. So this will be sorted out probably in the next, I don't know, 90 days maybe. And what's funny about that is it makes you wonder why they didn't do that in the first place, right? Like Ghost Recon Breakpoint. I got that game when it was first released. It sucked. It was absolutely terrible. The game was so bad. Alien Covenant. Was that the one with Winona Ryder? Yeah, Covenant was one of the old ones. It wasn't the new one, right? Yeah. Where's my phone? I gotta look it up. Hang on, I'm being a bad pilot right now. I can't remember what the second sequel was called, or the second prequel. Prometheus was the first prequel. Covenant is the second prequel. Okay, what's the one with Winona Ryder? And I don't even know. I don't even remember. What was I complaining about? What was I upset about? Ghost Recon Breakpoint. I got Ghost Recon Breakpoint, and it was terrible. And it actually knocked Ubisoft back a little bit. It lowered their stock price. That's how bad it was. And they pushed back a bunch of titles for 2019, and everything was going to be different. And so they fixed the game. They said they like rebuilt it, right? But all they did was take the gear score off the guns, and it's the same piece of crap that it always was. And it just makes you wonder, would it have not made more economic and financial sense for them to just listen to the feedback they were getting from people saying this game sucks, and delay it and fix it and release it properly? So I don't know that they would have had to do much to this game but polish it for another 90 days, and they could have avoided a lot of this stuff. Or even just let people know, if you buy it on Steam, it's still going to download from Microsoft servers. So, just a heads up. Be careful what drive you have assigned for Microsoft Store applications, because that's where it's going. I don't know. Just be better stewards of our money and our trust. That seems like the way to do business. And ultimately, what is coming out to compete with this? X-Plane 12 is probably a year or two away at the earliest. So it's not like there's another big title dropping this month that's going to compete with this. And it got plenty of hype outside of just flight sim circles, right? People that aren't even into gaming at all are talking about this because of the technological achievement of having the real-time streaming terrain and streaming data. So everybody was talking about this, right? Like Forbes was talking about this game. They had the hype. They would have had the same hype a few months from now. So I'm not sure why any developer releases a game without polishing it. It just makes no sense to me. All right, I think things will begin to get interesting here. This is 1L3 and SPOD. Let's check some altitudes here. So if we go back in here, and we go over here, and then down.
Descend and maintain
There's this.
10,000 feet, airframe 66.
All right, I think this says we're going to start descending now. As it says this next waypoint, HAKMN, it says they want us at 10,000 feet. So if we go here, HAKMN, where's that one? Right there. Okay. So between where we are now and here, we're going to descend 20,000 feet, 21,000 feet. Okay. Let's get ready to do that. So we'll go back over here and zoom out a little bit. All right. We're still good on fuel. Yep, everything looks good. All right. The funny thing about this sim is that for a long time, nothing happens, and then everything happens at once.
United 2836, descend and maintain 10,000 feet.
How far is this next one? Yeah, we're still 80 miles out.
Descend and maintain 10,000 feet. United 2836.
We're still 80 miles out from this next waypoint, but we're at over 300 knots, so we're carrying the mail at the moment. We will be there pretty quickly. All right. And I got to look up these alien movies. My OCD is triggered. All right. Moment, please. think Resurrection is the one. Yeah, Resurrection is the one with Winona Ryder. 1997. That's an old movie. Covenant. And then there's a third prequel coming out as well. And that's supposed to like tie it together with the first one. With the first from the what are we calling that? The main trilogy? Oh.
Descend and maintain 10,000 feet, United 2836.
All right. And I'm trying to think what else. Yep, that's about all I got. I do want to fly. I mean, we were in that little piston twin engine last time. We're in a turboprop this time. I guess next we'll do the Citation. Take a small jet out.
Dare Golf Sierra Alpha, descend and maintain flight level 190.
That's us.
Descend and maintain flight level 190 Dare Golf Sierra Alpha.
190. All right, so we'll get this set. So we had a little plane last episode. We're in a turboprop this time. We'll try the Citation next, and then after that, either the Airbus or the 747, and just kind of work our way up. I'm told that the bigger the planes get, the easier they get to fly because they're so much more automated. But we'll see if that is actually the case. 747 is ridiculous. I remember the first time I flew over one of those, leaving Heathrow. And when you see it from above, like the wing surface, it doesn't even look like a plane. It looks like just this giant rectangle of aluminum. They are so big. So the idea of flying one of those is always intimidating, but a lot of it is automated, so we'll see. But yeah, next will be the Citation. I've never flown the Citation in any sim, in any game or sim, so we'll see how that goes. And I think I'm gonna see if we can get down a little faster here. That's better. All right. Like that. Also saw that a lot of people did not get their premium content, and I guess there are some workarounds for that. But people were like reinstalling a 150 gig game. Like re-downloading and reinstalling a 150 gig game trying to get their content to show up. How frustrating is that?
Dare Golf Sierra Alpha, contact Los Angeles
That's
Center
us.
on 134.65.
All right.
134.65 Dare Golf Sierra Alpha. Los Angeles Center Dare Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra Alpha is at flight level 265, descending flight level 190.
Dare Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra Alpha Los Angeles Center, continue to act as planned. United 744, contact Los Angeles Center on 128.15.
I didn't even think about this, but we're flying into Las Vegas. I don't know. I mean, McCarran is right on the strip. So I'm curious how much of the strip they have represented, and will be, because we're coming in from east to west. So I believe we're going to fly like right over the strip. So let's see how much of it. I mean, obviously they'll have the Stratosphere. You got to have the Stratosphere and the Luxor. But I'm curious like how much of the strip we'll be able to see as we get closer. This also, I just noticed this. This also fascinates me. Like when I'm flying on a commercial plane and it says that it's like 65 degrees below zero outside, that always, like, I don't know, kind of gives me the willies that you're like one pane of glass away from instant death. I don't know how long you'd survive at 60 or 70 below. All right, so we'll level out at, well, we won't even level out at 19,000. As we approach 19,000, it's going to send us another probably 9,000 feet lower. Yep. All right. Well, that's that's interesting. What is that? Right there. There we go. That's better. There's your AAA game. I mean, no game is perfect. No game is ever going to be perfect, but still. Is that what? I'm not sure what that represents. Is that like a state line or something? Are we driving into another dimension? What's going on? It almost looks like we are flying into like a cloud shadow or something, but there is not a cloud in the sky. Interesting. All right. Well, let me get back in here so we don't have to see that anymore. All right, so we're coming up on 19,000. Let's see what they got for us next. Oh, and this is nice too. I don't know how well this is showing up on the stream, but there's like a heat bloom out of the exhaust. Let's see if I can pivot around, see it from the pilot's side. Yeah, you can sort of see it. There's a really nice heat shimmer coming out of the pipe right there, well, both sides. And again, my invisible co-pilot.
American 2183, you are 20,000 feet above your assigned altitude. Descend and maintain 10,000 feet.
Here.
Descend and maintain 10,000 feet, American 2183.
One other problem with the autopilot, and again, it could be have something to do with terrain avoidance and all of this FLIR and downward-looking radar, things that so many, even small airplanes like this, so many airplanes have that sort of technology, and it all interacts with the navigation and avionics and everything else. So it could be that it's pilot error, like literally pilot error, and I'm doing something that's causing the autopilot to go all crazy. But a lot of people are saying that when you turn the autopilot off, the plane is trimmed.
Stay Golf Sierra Alpha, descend and maintain 13,000 feet.
It's trimmed all wrong.
Descend and maintain 13,000
And so when you turn the
feet.
autopilot off, the
Golf
plane
Sierra
becomes
Alpha.
impossible to control. So if we are able to get on the localizer, it'll fly it all the way in. If we're not, I'm going to have to turn the autopilot off as we are on approach. And I'm hoping that it doesn't throw the plane out of control when we're only a couple thousand feet up. Because at that point, there's really not a lot of room to recover. All right, and we should, yeah, we should be able to see the city by now. That's it. I'm going to say right about there. I've flown from LA to Vegas, not in a plane like this, in like typically a 737. But I've made this flight so many times, I've made the drive so many times.
American 2183, contact Los Angeles Center on 128.15.
And it's crazy because it's just desert. It's a wasteland. There's like nothing out there. Nothing can live unless it has a shell or horns. And then all of a sudden there's this city like in the middle of the desert. It's crazy. I've never gotten used to it. As many times as I've made that trip, I've never gotten used to it. All right. And the nice thing is this will at least keep us, it's going to navigate us all the way into our approach, so we can kind of focus on other things. And we are, what do we say, 26 left is our runway. So we can focus on other things as we're getting closer, but then that last little bit, I'm really curious how that's going to work out. Is that it? Yep, I want to say that's it right there. And we've got, yeah, before we get any closer, I can show you this. So right now, Nav1, even though we have the radio set, we're not in the right place to catch that signal. So when this populates with information, we'll know that we're at least within range of that transmitter down at the end of the runway. So that will be the first thing that we need to happen, is this data field needs to populate. And then from there, I don't know. We're just going to play it by ear. All right, so here's 13,000 feet. See where they send us from here. And these are all, I said this yesterday in the stream, these all represent real aircraft doing real things. I feel like it doesn't necessarily blend everything together properly.
Dare Golf Sierra Alpha, descend and maintain 7,600 feet.
7,600, you got it.
Descend and maintain 7,600 feet. Dare Golf Sierra Alpha.
I feel like it doesn't, I mean, there's no way that it can integrate something real and something virtual at the same time. I don't think there is. But if there is really a plane on approach, like in real life, and then it puts us on that same approach, because there's no collision, we just sort of fly in together. It doesn't look great, but I don't know how else you could handle that without a very sophisticated automated air traffic control system.
Dare Golf Sierra Alpha, contact Los Angeles Center on 124.625.
124.625.
A very sophisticated ATC system that recognized those real planes in real time and knew what their intentions were and what they were going to do, and then slotted us as sim players, sim pilots in. It slotted us in around them. So they have to be where they really are because they're really there. But we can be anywhere because we have control. Or I guess the ATC has control over us, but it doesn't have control over the real planes. Does that make sense? So we have to accommodate them. But it seems like at the moment we don't accommodate them. We just sort of all fly together in a big snarl, which is not super realistic. All right. Getting close now. So right there, we should be able to see the stratosphere pretty soon. If it was daytime, I'm sorry, if it was nighttime, we'd be able to see the spotlight on top of the Luxor.
Dare Golf Sierra Alpha, you are 35 miles south. Maintain present heading and altitude. Expect ILS runway 26 right approach via Bravo Lima Delta transition.
26 right. Yep, we need another runway. We need...
Stand by Dayer Golf Sierra Alpha.
Dayer Golf Sierra Alpha, roger.
There we go.
Los Angeles Center Dayer Golf Sierra Alpha requests runway 26 left.
Dayer Golf Sierra Alpha, you are tree 2 miles south. Maintain present heading and altitude. Expect ILS runway 26 right approach via Bravo Lima Delta transition. Sidestep runway 26 left. Cleared to Bravo Lima Delta. Southwest
All right.
849er climb and maintain
Did you get all that?
10,000 feet.
So we're going to do the 26 right approach, and then on final, we're going to sidestep to 26 left. Oh, game.
Climb and maintain 10,000 feet Southwest 849er. Southwest 849er, contact Las Vegas departure on 125.9er. Southwest tree 88, you are 3,700 feet above your assigned altitude. Descend and maintain 10,000 feet altimeter 29er.9er2.
Maintain present heading and altitude. Expect ILS runway 26 right approach via Bravo Lima Delta transition. Sidestep runway 26 left. Cleared to Bravo Lima Delta Dayer Golf Sierra Alpha.
Dayer Golf Sierra Alpha, contact Las Vegas approach on 125.025.
All right.
Going to 125.025 Dayer Golf Sierra Alpha. Las Vegas approach Dayer Alpha Sierra X-ray Golf Sierra Alpha 7,600 feet.
Dayer Alpha Sierra X-ray Golf Sierra Alpha Las Vegas approach, continue to Bravo Lima Delta as planned. Altimeter 29er.9er2.
All right. Everything is good so far. And the two things I'm curious about now are frame rate and when the city is going to pop in. Because I feel like what we're looking at out here is sort of generic scenery still. So I don't know how close we'll have to be before the city actually populates. And I also want to see what it does. We're at mid-40s right now. Let's see how we do. And we should be, yep. So this is going to be Lake Mead over here. And Henderson will be somewhere right in here. And then Vegas will be over here. And depending on where we make our turn, we may be able to look out to the right and see the Hoover Dam. We'll see. All right. So 16 miles to BLD. Speed is good. Everything is good. Yep. Okay. So we'll hop back out here. That is, what is that, a solar farm? Yeah, I think that's a solar farm, but it's not, I mean, maybe it would render better if we were a little bit lower, but from up here, it's pretty low res. I don't know if you can see that. Just looks like a JPEG laid over top of it. There somewhere. Would be Hoover Dam. We may be high enough to see it. We may not be. Find out momentarily. All right, here we go. Yeah, I would think we really should be able to see more of the city by now, because it's like right here. I'm not seeing any landmarks or anything. All right.
Air Golf Sierra Alpha descend and maintain 5,400 feet.
All right.
Descent and maintain 5,400 feet. Dare Golf Sierra Alpha. We want this on, do we not? Yeah, we got that.
Air Golf Sierra Alpha, you are 14 miles east of Las Vegas.
All right.
Contact Las Vegas Tower on 119.9 when inbound.
Can't mess with it now, we're too close.
Tower on 119.9 Dare Golf Sierra Alpha. Las Vegas Tower Dare Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra Alpha 13 miles east inbound ILS runway 26 right approach sidestep runway 26 left.
Air Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra Alpha Las Vegas Tower. Cleared ILS runway 26 right approach. Altimeter 29.9 wind 21 tree at 5.
Cleared ILS runway 26 right approach Dare Golf Sierra Alpha.
All right, the city just popped in. I don't know if you saw that, but first thing I saw was the Luxor right there, and the stratosphere is out here, so
Southwest 418 cleared to land runway 26 left.
it's pretty late.
Number 2 for landing. Follow the aircraft on final. Wind 21 tree at 5. Caution the generic landing runway 26 right.
So we are, yeah, we're close enough now.
Cleared to land runway 26 left, number 2 Southwest 418.
Yeah, this this field never did populate for nav, so we're gonna have to come off of autopilot and just fly it in. Okay, here we go. Yeah, there's another. If you look on that middle MFD, there's another aircraft just to our left.
Runway 26 left, number 2 Dare Golf Sierra Alpha.
Might be a little rough.
Delta 8 tree exit runway when able.
All right. Yeah, we're way too high. Way too high, and we're going way too fast. Well, we'll just do a carrier landing. Yeah, we should be at like 1,500 feet right now. Yeah, that traffic management and the real world aircraft, I really like the idea of it.
Dare Golf Sierra Alpha, go around.
You know what? They're telling us to go around. But we've been up for like an hour and a half. Let's just go ahead and land.
Dare Golf Sierra Alpha, did you copy? Southwest 418 exit runway when able.
Well, we didn't quite hit the piano keys, but we did put it on the center stripe and we didn't break anything. So I'm happy with that.
Dare Golf Sierra Alpha, please
I will not acknowledge. I'm not going around. Let's get off the runway and we'll call it.
Southwest 418, contact ground on 130.0.
Yeah, I mean, for the game being out for a day and a half now, 2 days, I'm pleased with it, but there are a lot of things. I notice more every time I play it. There are a lot of things that can be polished up, and I hope they are in the future. All right. Pops in. Let's over here, and we'll call it.
Dare Golf Sierra Alpha, acknowledge last transmission.
And I'm in a loop now, because they're still telling me to go around. The only thing, yeah, there we go. Now we can get some ground. There we go. Texas
Las
parking.
Vegas ground Dare Alpha Sierra X-ray Golf Sierra Alpha request taxi to parking.
Dare Alpha Sierra X-ray Golf Sierra Alpha taxi to general aviation parking via taxiway Alpha 5 Alpha Alpha 6 cross runway 26 right Golf Whiskey cross runway 1 right Whiskey cross runway 1 left Whiskey Foxtrot Bravo Hotel.
You get all that? All right. I'm not going to do a readback on that. I'm going to hop outside and we'll call it right there. There you go. All right. Thanks for stopping by to check out the stream. Next episode, possibly. Well, no, we'll do Train Sim World 2 tomorrow for a live stream. But at some point,
Dare Golf Sierra Alpha, did you hear my last
I heard you. Next episode, we'll hop in that citation and maybe fly from, I don't know, Vegas to San Francisco or someplace. There you have it. See you next time. Take care.